To start off the session, I'm going to talk about what I'm making. So I'm making this salad in which I have some beans and lentils included because, like I said, I'm following a more of a moderate approach. So I'm following Dr. Gundry's keto code approach, where he talks about including some healthy vegetarian plant-based complex carbs. So I have included those because I found myself not feeling all that great on pure keto, and also I found it very difficult to follow it in the long run. So your diet needs to be a lifestyle, and I wasn't able to keep it as a lifestyle. So I was going on and off of keto, and it was taking a toll on my confidence, because every time you can't go back and don't get the results that you wanted, you sort of feel that you're doing something wrong, and which is what is the negative about a restrictive diet. So I'm going to talk about this later. I just want to show you quickly what I am. Uh, so my daughter is holding the phone. So I have already heated my pressure cooker because I didn't want to waste time. And I want to show you what I'm cooking in this. So we have the water heated. I've put my chickpeas in it, and I also have these lentils, and I'm going to use these lentils in my salad. And with the chickpeas I'm going to make a hummus. So let me just put it for cooking first. I haven't put any water in the lentils because I want them to cook dry. The other thing I'm going to do is, these are the yams. I'm going to season them and put it in the oven. I've heated the oven too, and I actually use a microwave on the convection setting these days. Now olive oil is great for you, so you can use it as much as you want. It's full of polyphenols, which are almost like an antioxidant. It's slightly different, but they are great for you. So I'm going to salt it a little bit, mix all of this up, and put it in the oven. And then in the end I'm going to put some chili powder and some turmeric, because if you put that right in the beginning, a lot of times in the oven it will just burn. So it's important that I put these two things to cook right away, because I'm hoping to cook the whole thing within 15 minutes. So flatten and put it in the oven. Okay, so let me show you some of the other things that we are going to use in the salad. So we are using broccoli. Okay, my God. So I have lightly steamed broccoli. You don't want to, cook your vegetables in water, because a lot of the vitamins are lost in the water. So just steam them. You can use a strainer and put the vegetable in that, and then put some boiling water under it, cover it up, and you don't lose as much of the nutrients. Also, the water under it, you can definitely use it in your soup or something like that. This is a mix of salad greens which I've already washed. I'm going to start putting all of this while everything else is cooking, and hopefully we are going to be able to open the pressure cooker and make the hummus in time. I also have some green beans that I have fermented. So I have a recipe for this. I have one video where it's called fermenting everything or something like that. So you can almost ferment any crunchy vegetable, which is what I do a lot of times. Also, if you have some extra vegetables, you can just put it in a brine and ferment it, and eat it whenever you need. So I'm just going to show you one of this. I have cabbage, I have kimchi, I have a lot of things fermented. I have sauerkraut. So this is what it looks like, and this is probably like 1 year old or so. And I have fermented lemons, so a lot of these things I have fermented. So can you hold it properly? So My pressure cooker is whistling. We are going to let it cook for about 5 to 7 minutes. I'm thinking and hoping that it's going to be ready within that time. So this is my mixed greens, the other vegetable that I'm going to use today. And I'm only choosing the ones that are kind of like really good for you, recommended for you. My pressure cooker, I hope it's not disturbing you guys. So these are beets. I'm using them raw. And like I said, I'm using vegetables which are extremely good for you. And these need to be eaten raw because they are, okay, I have to. So that's the pressure cooker whistling. If you guys don't know what a regular pressure cooker works like, this is what it does. So it gets hot, the pressure builds up, and then after a point there is a whistle on top which moves with the pressure, and it releases the pressure from time to time to maintain a certain level of pressure so that it doesn't blast. Now the modern pressure cookers you might know, which are the electric pressure cookers, they are much more advanced. There's no whistling and there's a lot more safety and things like that. But I couldn't use that today. Why was that? Okay, I don't remember why I decided to use the regular one. So I was talking about beets. So these are shredded beets and they are fresh. Unfortunately, I'm not able to read the questions. So my daughter is probably, or I'll take a break and I'll read the questions and reply. Raw beets and try to eat foods which are colorful, which becomes another problem on keto because a lot of the colorful foods are banned on keto. Like beets are not allowed on strict keto, and that is the reason to do this, because you feel deprived after a while. So I am going to put this much. And I'm going to just lay a few things and then go back to chatting with you guys. So this is the broccoli. I wish it was a little more colorful. And I'm just throwing things without measuring because I feel like that's the way to be on a diet in the long run. If you want to maintain anything in the long run, you can't all the time be calculating your calories, your macros. You sort of want to get a ball. It's sort of an idea of where you want to be, what are the things you want to eat, in what proportions, and after that you can just keep throwing them in as and when you like, whatever and whatever mood you're in. So let me just put the, and this fermented brine is also full of probiotics. It's good for you, so you can definitely even have that in your soup. So a lot of times what I do is, when my soup is ready, I switch off the burner and then I add some of the brine in the end so that it doesn't cook the brine too much. You still get the good effects of the probiotics. And these are sour, so you want to be careful. You don't want to add too many. And even when you're making your hummus, just remember that you've add these beans in, so you don't want to put too much lemon juice. So we have the beans in. I am going to take a break and chat with you guys because we are waiting for these things to get ready now. Okay, so I would have put coriander, but I don't have it in my masala box. You guys might have seen it. Today it doesn't have some of the elements. I have chilies, garlic, a whole onion, chopped onion, sliced onion, and this is something my maid cuts for my husband's eggs. These never sit in my ears well. Okay. Hopefully you guys heard the last part. Alright. Also, I am going to mainly make a vegetarian salad, but for those of you who want to eat some meat, and I do eat some meat, actually Dr. Gundry and a lot of these longevity experts do not want you to eat too much meat and fish, because from research they have seen that most of the blue zone people eat very little meat. So, but if you want, you can add a little bit. This is a mix of chicken, mince and tofu, and it's got mushrooms and a lot of Chinese cabbage, which I have already cooked. So I use this for my kids momos. I already use this to make a fried rice for them, a Thai fried rice. So they eat grains, so you know, so I could just put some of this. And if you cook something like this and keep it, then you can just flavor it slightly and use it in whatever recipe that you want. I also wanted to show you guys um, this pesto that I have. I always have pesto on hand. I have some oil in it, olive oil, and whenever I add it to whatever I'm making, I'll just add a bunch of olive oil more on top. We're going to make our hummus, but I have a batch already. Just wanted to show you guys. So here is the hummus. It's pretty thick. There's some water coming out. Again, I have actually ground this in olive oil, but it is homogenized and it's mixed up completely, so you can't see it. And I'm going to top this after I use it with a lot more olive oil, because like I said, you could eat as much olive oil as you want. I am hoping that my chickpeas are ready. I wanted to remind you guys that I have designed a course about all of these things, about the healthy foods, and especially how to be on a diet without troubling yourself and be productive. Because if you're on a healthy diet, you feel better, you think better. We all know on keto, a lot of us do intermittent fasting, so we've seen the results of what it is to feel productive. And I have designed a course around this and around what Dr. Gundry talks about, and all of these doctors, like I said, Dr. Sinclair, Dr. Gundry, Dr. Jason Fung, and did I miss? And Dr. Walter Longo. So their ideas are in line with each other, and I have modified my diet to a certain extent, and I feel great on it. Eating too much fat was really not working for me. I wasn't feeling as light, so it was a mixed feeling. And just because everybody else says that it works and it's great, and kudos to the people that it works well for in the long run, but for me, I kind of realized that I needed a change to do this forever, and this is the change I've made, and I have designed a course around that. I'm going to talk about all of the interesting things about biohacking, about low carb, the value that it brings to your life, and I totally believe in low carb. Being a diabetic, I don't eat many carbs, I don't eat grains, and I also recently did a nutritional certification, so that is there, but my approach is slightly different from that, which is what I want to share with you guys. If you want to take a look, there's a link in the description. I'm going to put a link in the description as well as a code for you, and I'm actually going to ask my daughter, Sanita, can you put that link in the description now itself, so you can click and go there. There's a code for a discount. This can be watched later as well as a live session, so it's going to be a recorded session too. I'm giving a free demo class this Sunday. I'm going to add that demo class this Sunday, so please check that out. If you guys like it, then you can join the course. So you could check that anytime you want. Now that is that. I'm going to check the pressure cooker now. The way to open a pressure cooker immediately is to cool it down by putting water on it, which is what I'm going to do, and hope that it is cooked. So just wanted to show you guys how the pressure cooker thing works. For those of you who haven't seen this, so that's how the pressure builds, and there's an idea behind it that the pressure cooker allows the water and the steam to build up higher than 100 degrees centigrade, which would be the boiling point if you were to cook it on an open in an open pot, basically. So your food cooks quicker. Also, because it cooks quicker, you don't lose a lot of the nutrients in the food, is the belief. Also, pressure cooking gets rid of the lectins in a lot of these beans and lentils. So in the course, I'm going to talk a lot about that too. So let me see. Sanitra, are there any questions? Then I can just...
Someone's saying hummus has carbs too.
Yes, hummus has carbs, but like I said, I have started eating a few carbs, and especially carbs which are good for you. They are full of fiber. I have included them. And if you read Dr. Gundry's The Keto Code, it's a popular book. He talks about how you can include these foods and still be in keto or get the benefits of keto. And I'm going to share all of that in the course, definitely. So hummus has carbs, but a lot of people on keto will go on to eating 100 carbs a day and still continue getting a lot of the benefits. There are some hacks you can do to follow this diet better. Any questions? Any other questions?
Hummus is a kind of curd, but without milk. Am I right?
So hummus is something that is made with chickpeas. It's got a wonderful sesame paste, which is good for you. You put loads of olive oil. So it's a superfood kind of thing. It's a great combination. You get a lot of goodness from this, and this can be eaten as a dip. So if you have some healthy chips, you can eat it with that. I use it a lot as a salad dressing. So you can do many things with it. It's a Middle Eastern popular dip or so.
Is it a Mexican or Indian dish?
Pardon?
Is it a Mexican or Indian dish?
No, it is a Middle Eastern dish. So our chickpeas are cooked. I want to show you. I hope I can touch it. It's too hot. And I would normally not blend it at this point, but you can see it's cooked. But since we are in a live video and I have taken up a challenge where I'm going to try to cook all of this within 15 minutes, and you guys can see that I could only do this because I'm using a pressure cooker. So I am a complete supporter. Also, especially Indians use pressure cooker a lot, so it gets used every day in our kitchen because we eat a lot of beans and lentils, and that's actually a good addition to a diet. I don't like the carbs that we eat through grains. A lot of carbs Indians eat through grains, so that's not something I find ideal. So I'm going to put a couple of cloves of garlic in this. Then I'm going to put olive oil. I'm going to blend most of it in olive oil, so you'll need a lot. Okay, so this is, I'm sure, a little more than a quarter cup. Then there is lemon juice. So I'm going to add about 1.5 tablespoons. Then salt, and you could add some cumin powder. Can you hear me, Sanita? You want to salt it well. I think I added a little over half a teaspoon of salt, and you could add some cumin powder. I'm going to leave it out for now because I'll have to run to so this is something I'm going to blend, but I don't want to sort of blend it right now because my blender is really loud. So let's just assume that I blended it and then I got it out in this container. And this is my hummus, and as I showed you, this is my pesto, and this the pesto too I've made at home. I want to just cool down my beans a little bit, so I'm going to get it out in a stainless steel plate. And stainless steel will take the heat, and I may just put some. So I would have liked, oh my god, the butter. I would have liked to cook this a little less, and I've already shared this dal in one of the videos. It's a masoor lentil, and it's with the cover. Normally you might have seen it. It's in US you call it regular lentils, which is orange in color, and this is how it is with the cover on, and it's much more delicious with the cover. It's almost meaty. So the days when mom used to not make meat, she would make this, and we make it in the same preparation, and it would smell, the whole house would smell as if you're making goat meat or mutton, which is what we call it. So I really love this dal, and I've shared a burger recipe using this, a vegan burger. So, and if you don't put water while cooking it, so today I was a little flustered. I would have made it a little more dry and cooked a little less. But if you don't add water, you can easily blend it or mash it with a masher and make burgers out of it. Or you can just sort of put some olive oil on a pan and lightly saute it and put a few spices and it is delicious, almost like a snack. I love it. So I'm hoping this is cooling down. I'm going to switch on the fan, and if there are a few other questions, we'll take those.
How long do we have to keep blending for it to get fermented and become hummus?
So it takes, so it's a good idea to use warm chickpeas because they will blend easier and quicker, and which is what I have done. I've taken really hot ones, but you want to use warm chickpeas, and it will take about a minute. I mean, if it doesn't, if your blender is a little different from mine, it might take a little longer and you can go a little longer, but not more than a minute, I'm thinking. Okay, good thing I remembered. I have left out the most important part. This is tahini, this is the sesame paste. A lot of times what I do is I will just toast a little bit of sesame, white sesame seeds, and then I add it to the blender itself if I don't want to spend on tahini, which works perfectly well, but I feel like it's creamier if you use tahini. So this is what it looks like. And this is another delicious thing. So if you add some garlic, yogurt and water and you blend this with it, that's another sauce which is delicious. It goes very well on meats, and it's a Middle Eastern sauce. Again, I don't remember the name. I think probably they call it the garlic sauce. There's another garlic sauce, so this is called something else probably. So I would add about 2 tablespoons, and I don't remember if I added 1 or 2 because I was chatting. So I'm going to add a little more because it doesn't hurt. So if one of the earphone drops, can you guys still hear me or you can't? So yeah, this is the hummus recipe, not the one that I shared earlier. And now I'm hoping I can add my beans. Is there any other question?
Is this kala chana?
This is not kala chana, this is masoor. I'm going to grab it from my pantry unless I've finished it off, and I will show you what it is in the raw form. And all of these beans you want to soak overnight and then cook it, because first of all the lectins will affect you if you don't soak them, and you want to always pressure cook them. Like I said, we will talk about this a little more in my course. Right now I can't, and this is still a little warm. I can't help it, unfortunately. And I want to also add a little bit of sweetness to this, so I'm going to use pomegranate. That's another fruit or berry or whatever you call it. It's not really a berry, which is delicious and it's good for you. So we're just going to sprinkle a little bit, and this is our...
After blending is over, can we immediately use hummus as a dip, or we have to keep?
Yeah, absolutely. So hummus is not really a fermented product or a fermented food. It's just like you're eating flavored chole, but you're mashing it up because it just makes it more creamy and gives it a delicious texture. So I'm adding the hummus that I had made earlier as a dressing.